Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Ross. Happy Monday. We're going to start reviewing topic 2, which is adding and subtracting multi-digit numbers. We're going to a little bit and not do all of the lessons. We're just going to go over some that we thought you guys. All right. So we're going to start today with lesson 2-2, with differences. So you're going to use all that stuff you reviewed how to round to help you today to estimate sums. Remember that a sum is an answer and an addition, and estimate differences. That's the answer in a subtraction problem. Okay, so you're going to use rounding and place value to help you estimate. So just a little bit of a review. So here they're telling me the place to round to the nearest thousand. So I have 4,298. I'm going to use my rule to really help me. So I underline the rounding place and I draw my arrow, right? Is the 2 going to put alone? It's going to leave it alone. So 4,298 would round to 4,000. 2,149, underline the rounding place, the thousands place. The 1 is going to tell me what to do. Is the 1 going to bump up the 2 or leave it alone? It's going to leave it alone. So 2,149 rounds to 2,000. So those are my 2 estimates, and I'm going to add them because I'm finding the sum. So 4,000 plus 2,000 equals 6,000. And notice sort of how I set up the problem. I have my original numbers. I love to use arrows, as you can tell. And then I show what the estimate is, and then I show the rounded one, okay? So as we're rounding, it's really important to recognize this sort of like concept. The closer you are to the actual number in your rounding, the closer your estimate will be to the actual answer. So if I'm rounding to the thousands place, my actual answer isn't going to be as precise as if I rounded to the tens place, okay? Sometimes over here in the pink, they may not tell you where to round. I think today they tell you all the places to round, but if it ever happens where they don't tell you what place to round to and you're sort of stuck, you're going to round to the largest place value that they both share. Okay, so here they didn't tell me where to round to, but I have 5,688. And here I have 395. They don't share a thousands place, so I'm going to round both numbers to the hundreds place. Okay, that's just a good thing to keep in mind. So let's try a couple. So today they're going to present it to you a couple of problems like this. They're not going to tell you the rounding place, but they're going to put sort of a square where they want you to fill in. So you need to figure out what the rounding place is. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, right? So here they want you to round both of the numbers to the thousands place and find the sum. All right, so I love my strategy. I underline the rounding place, the thousands place. I draw my arrow to the friend next door who's going to tell me what to do. That's a 4. The 4 is not going to bump up the 3, right? 5 to 9, bump it up. Through 0 to 4, leave it alone. So this would round to 3,000. Okay, same strategy here. Thousands place, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. I'm going to underline the rounding place. I'm going to draw my arrow. Now I have a 9. 5 to 9, bump it up. So the 2 turns into a 3. And remember, everything after the rounding place turns to zeros. So I have 3,000 plus 3,000, which gives me 6,000. All right. So my estimated sum is 6,000. All right, let's try another one. Whoa, estimate to find the difference. So here I'm not adding, I'm subtracting. And it tells me to round to the nearest hundreds place. All right, so ones, tens, hundreds. So I'm going to underline, draw my arrow. What does the 7 do to the 6? Bump it up or leave it alone? It bumps it up. So this becomes a 7. Remember, everything before the rounding place stays the same, so that 234,000 stays. Everything after the rounding place becomes a 0. We're still rounding to the nearest hundred, so I underline the 5 in the hundreds place and I draw my arrow. What does the 3 do to the 5? Bump it up or leave it alone? It's going to leave it alone. So I put that there. Let's do some subtraction. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. Don't forget your comma. 4 minus 3 is 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. 101,200. So notice, remember that concept I was talking about before? This estimate here is going to be closer to the actual difference than if I rounded to the hundred thousands place. Okay, so again, the closer you are sort of to rounding to the actual number, the closer your estimate will be. And sometimes it's important to have a closer estimate, and sometimes it's okay if your estimate's a little bit larger, depending on sort of the circumstance. Okay, so let's do a little reasoning and problem solving for our last one. Izzy, my sweet Izzy girl, that's my dog for those of you who don't know. Izzy says, when rounding to the nearest hundred, 633,318 rounds to 633,000. Do you agree? So I usually like to do the actual rounding just so I know whether or not the person is correct or not, and then I can move forward with my explanation. So Izzy says when rounding to the nearest hundred. So I'm going to go to the hundreds place. I'm going to use my strategy every single time. I underline the rounding place. I draw my arrow. What does the 1 do to the 3? Bump it up or leave it alone? It leaves it alone. So this number would round to 633,300. Remember, I'm leaving the 3 alone. Okay? So unfortunately, my sweet Izzy is not correct. I do not agree with her reasoning. 633,318, when rounded to the nearest hundred, does not round to 633,000. So in this instance, Izzy was incorrect. All right, so today you're going to work on this, boys and girls. It should be a good review. Remember, it is sort of scaffolding that idea of rounding from last week that you reviewed as well. And remember, if you need to go back to those slides to review your rounding rules, go for it. All right, have a great day, everybody. Happy Monday.